Hi everyone, this is Audrey with the Creator's Attic. I'm here to show you a throwback little deal that I did a little while back. It's back when I first started making things for my junk journals, and I came across it today in a drawer that I was looking through, and I had pretty much forgotten about it, and it's just such a neat, simple idea. I thought I would share it with you. This was very, very, very elementary. This was when I just first started doing things for junk journals. So basically it is a paper sack, and we do not have, where I live, we do not have a Hobby Lobby anywhere nearby. The biggest store we have around here is a Walmart, and so I was just dying to buy something to do with my junk journals, and I didn't have half an hour to drive to a Hobby Lobby or anything like that. So to become inspired, so I just inspired myself with a paper sack, and this is dimensions on them from Walmart. Here's a 3.5 by 2 by 6.75 inch paper sack, and this is what it looks like. And this is what I started with, and this is the base. And I know that you've seen 1,001 ideas, but you're about to see another maybe you haven't seen, with a paper sack. These are a little bit thicker than Dollar Tree, like sandwich paper sacks like you send with your kids to school or something. These are more like the grocery store thickness. They're not too thick though. And let me show you, just give you a little tour of what I did. This is already peeling up and everything. Wow, it's just showing, this has been in my drawer for a long time. So it's been dug around and flipped and everything. So it's holding up pretty well. See how I didn't even glue my edges down well. But anyway, please put all that aside and just roll with the idea here. And I'll show you how I did this. You could take it and run with it. There's so many different things you can do with this idea, but what I did was I took I had these little kits. This is from one of my the only Digi kit that I have in my store currently, and it's of little ladies and little girls from advertising cards, like antique advertising and calling cards and things like that. And this one has been, I believe, shrunk down to size a little bit to fit on the front, and I just put a little bit of trim. It's very simple. I mean, just this is all I had to work with. And I think I even dyed this little piece of organza ribbon here that keeps this shut. I did have apparently did have a eyelet setter though, so that was good. But this is the basics. It's basically a little bag with a pouch in the front that holds that can hold ephemera. Obviously, I had to make my own ephemera, and we were down to like a stamp and some ink and like some just cardboard apparently and some paper. But I was just happy to be making stuff, and I took old scraps and I gave it the old 3-hole pen stitch, and wow, this paper looks rough. It's interesting to see when you look back what you did and then see how far you've come. That's why it's always important to save that old ephemera or your old, whatever embellishments, ephemera, whatever it is that you make for your journals, even if you don't use them, just save your prototypes. This is where I've made a little pocket here, a little pocket tuck here in the back that holds some things too. And then here we go. So let me show you just the basic construct of this, of how I did it, and we'll go from there. So basically, I am going to take this sack. These sacks, when you pull them out, usually have a flap that's laying down up against the sack, and this one is going to go on the right hand side, and then this left hand is going to come over here. This left-handed side is going to come over, and I'm just going to match the corners. And I'm going to take my bone folder. It's been so long ago since I did this, I can't attest exactly to if I used a bone folder or not last time. I may not have even have known what a bone folder was when I made this, but I don't know. But we're just gonna try to recreate it here and maybe make it a little bit better looking version this time. Okay, so here I have the sack. The flap is here, and this obviously has not been secured down to make my little tuck yet, but we're gonna do that. And also on this little prototype, I had my paper, I had taken a hole punch, circle punch. So, and of course I don't want to do the front, I just want to do the little pocket. You don't have to do this, but I just wanted to, I don't want to do it on the front, but I do want to do it to the inside. So you know that there's a little thumb hole there of like, hey, look inside here. There's some goodies in here, okay? So that's why I just did that. And then I am looking at it like this now, and I'm going to pick out what I'm going to work from the inside out. So I am going to take some Fabrifix. You can take any kind of strong glue, but I prefer Fabrifix. Let me make sure it's coming out. Because this will do paper to paper, fabric to paper, fabric to fabric, and it works well with these edges. And I'm just going to do this edge here on the very edge on the top and this very edge on the bottom. That's all that I want to close. And I'm going to let that dry, so when it does, I'll have a place to slip things in here. So I'm going to let that dry. And so I'm going to put that aside and let it dry. And then I've gone ahead and taken some scraps, just some coffee dyed scraps of different paper that I had. And I just measured them out so they would fit in here. And I could put them in with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You can also put these in here and run, just if you want to sew, you can just find the middle and just sew down the middle real quick. That's fine. If you want to try to staple it in there, that works as well. I find that 3-hole pamphlet, just every chance I stitch, every chance that I can get a chance to work with it, I will. So before I do anything else, though, and I sew these in, I'm going to be showing how to sew. I sew these in. I want to ink my bag, and I think I'm going to use a little picture with some pink in it today. So I think I'm going to go around with some gathered twigs, just to give my bag some dimension. So I'm just going to go around my edges really quickly with gathered twigs. And I probably will come back with a pink color and do some accents with that as well. But right now I'm just putting this around the edge just to kind of frame it in, just to kind of sophisticate the little brown bag a little bit more. I'm using gathered twigs, distress ink. I probably could have gone on with black soot or something maybe with a walnut stain, because this, to me, I think vintage photo is a little too yellow for me, for my taste. When I'm trying to make something look vintage, it has a little bit of a yellow tinge to me, whereas gathered twigs has a little bit more of a brown look for making things vintage. But even the gathered twigs on this looks a little yellow. Anyway, I'm just going to ignore that, because probably would be good if I could have gone in with some, do the inside. I could have gone in with some black soot. I could have gone in with some brown espresso. But I'm just going to work with what I have. Obviously, I didn't have much when I made this the first time, so. And you know what? I think it's interesting that the less supplies you have, the more you are as a beginning crafter, the more you're challenged to be creative. And so, I mean, this gave me a great opportunity when I didn't have a craft store nearby to just use what I had, and that's what I did. And, you know, I've accumulated supplies over time, and it's made it, you know, more fun and everything, but I still look back at these old projects and think that I had a good time back then too. I mean, just loads of fun. I was having a blast apparently back then. And it's very important that you keep your ephemera that you make, things that you make, journals that you make from the beginning. I hang on to those because I like to look back and be able to see what all I've done and how much I've grown. Okay, so this has adhered now, so that's good. So I'm going to take these pages, and I think I just took like 4, and I'm just going to fit them here in the middle. And I'm just going to take my needle. This is not very long. I think this is about 2 inches. This blunt, very blunt needle here. And I believe that just for this purpose, I don't need anything stronger than just some embroidery thread. Let me just grab a color. I'm using a brown bag, so I'll just go with a, what did I pull out? Here's like a little tan colored. Let me see if I'm keeping you in frame. If I'm not keeping you in frame, I apologize. Okay, so, okay. It's so hard sometimes too to find the end of this, but I'm going to go, and then it gets stuck, and okay. Anyway, I'm going to count out 3 times, 1, 2, 3 the length, and then give it a little bit of extra so I have a little bit of wiggle room. And I'm going to check the integrity like this and give it a few good yanks, and it seems to be in good shape. I don't think I've had this embroidery thread more than like 1.5 years or so. So I now keep my regular embroidery thread that I use a lot. I have it in nice little cards and all coordinated and everything, and then I just have this grab bag that I grab at sometimes. So basically you don't have to go through a lot of you can ink these if you want to around the edges, but for time's sake I'm just going to show you the basics of this video, so I'm not going to do that. But you don't have to even make little marks or anything in here. Just grab these and put them somewhere about in the middle and hold them down, and you could just punch on through. Should be able just to punch on through like that. So you'll go through the middle, and then you'll come out the back, and I'm still holding my paper, and I'm just going to go up here to the top. Oh, I let it go a little bit, that's okay. I'm going to show you what I do. Sometimes I go ahead and make the hole from this inside. So don't get confused. I have gone through and I've come out, but I'm just making a hole with this. Sometimes I make a hole from this side and don't go all the way through with the needle, and then I just come out around the back and then cheat and stick it through there like that. And there we go. So I'm coming back through the center of the book. And then I'm going to go, here's my center. I went out, I came back inside, and I'm going to go all the way down. And I'm just going to go to the end. I'm going to punch that through. And I'm just kind of using, I don't have to have an awl or anything like that. This paper sack is much too delicate to need that. So I'm going to go through here. And then I already have a hole. Looks like the double of my thread's trying to come through here. That's okay. Just need to pull that out. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go back through that hole that I first started in, and say I'm going to do that and make it look so easy, and then I make it look so difficult. Okay, so it does it on camera, right? Okay, here we go. Come back through. Now, I do want to make sure, as with all 3-hole pamphlet stitches, that when I come back through that I have one little wing on one side and I bring this other little wing around the other side. And I'm going to tighten it up really well. And let's see, you check and make sure that that's not too tight, but it's taut. And then I'm going to go over and under, and then I'm going to go the other way, over and under, and tie it off, and voila, there you have it. And you can snip these ends. You can put a little charm dangle on here. That would be very cute. Or you can cut it short. You can just leave it. what have you, but I'm going to do a little trick that I personally like to do, and I may have showed this on another video, but I don't like to leave my ends dangling in the middle any longer. I have come up with another idea that I like to do, and it looks so much neater, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, but it holds for me. So I'm going to run those two, I said I'm going to run these two back through here, these two middle strings that I had. Okay, and it looks like I have some rebellious thread here, and the embroidery thread wanted to unwind. Let me see if I can get those to go all through now. Okay. Gosh, it is really late here. It's when I do my videos, and it seems like it complicates things, especially when I'm trying to rush too. I feel kind of like I'm trying to rush. I don't want anyone to get tired and turn the video off because they think they've seen everything, because you haven't. You really haven't. Okay, let me pay more attention. I'm gonna cut this off again. I think I've just frayed it too much. But this is worth it to me. Usually regular, like hemp twine or whatever, when you use it on regular signatures, it doesn't do all this unraveling, but because I have used embroidery thread, I guess I'm paying the cost. I just feel like my nails are in my way. I've never even been one to have nails until recently, and I started crafting. I found out that I needed them for things. So anyway, okay, here we go. Okay, so we're gonna go through, and what I'm doing is I'm just gonna go back through the center hole, and I'm just gonna come out on the back here, the very back flap, and I'm just gonna pull this out. And now I have my two threads that were in my center. They're now in the back of my book, and I'm just gonna tie this in a knot again, up to the thing, just up to the spine again. You don't even really have to do this, but I just like to do this, and then I'm going to cut it. And so there you have this finished look, just like this. And you're like, don't have all the signature dangle. Okay, so there you go. You saw it here. All right, so now I have my my pages and my little signature in, and now what do we have over here? Okay, this one has a decoration on the front and some little decoration on the inside as well. So let's see. I'm going to decorate I guess I need to decide what I'm going to put on the front. And I printed these out and shrunk them from my kit, and I was thinking about putting them so they would fit on the front. And then it just seems like, though, by just looking at them like this, they seem to get a little bit lost. So I was thinking some book page behind there, or maybe possibly some lace that I had laying around. I had this piece of lace laying around. That's correct. Okay. And you know, you could always do this and just glue the lace on here solidly, and then put this on top. Let's see. Or I can always come back in with some trim later and ink around. I had this little girl, and she was really cute, and I was thinking she would be cute on there. And you can always put some pages behind it. You could put some trim behind it, or you can always just put some trim on it later. And when you have a little tie or something, this will take away from just the plainness look of this to start with. So I think just for time purposes, and just so I'm not fussing, I'm just going to put her on the front as is. And I can't even get this is art glitter glue that I keep in a tiny little precision tipped bottle. I think I got these on Amazon, and apparently I haven't used this in a bit because I don't use art glitter glue as much, because it usually usually in situations I tend to work, I see that it warps my paper too much, and I usually just use my glue stick, but I do use it for little projects. So I'm just going to get this in here because I just need just that little bit of bitty bit. And this, even more than this, maybe if you want to know, I can put it in the comments down below. Just remind me and ask me. I can put what, I'll have to look up what the name of this little bottle is, but it's a very neat little bottle, and it came on, it's just, I just put a little art glitter glue, goes a long way. That's just like plain white craft glue. A little goes a long way with that stuff, and I don't use it that much, so I just keep it in a smaller bottle. Let's put her on. I'm going to catty corner her. I'm a catty cornerer. I find that it adds a little bit more interest, so I'm just going to catty corner her on the front with the idea that I may have to come back in here with some glue. That's another thing with the, when I use my glue stick, I usually get around all the way, but that's okay. All right, so we have this. Now, we need to definitely do something more. I think I'm going to come in with some Distressing Worn lipstick, and I take my little homemade medicine dauber, and I'm just going to ink some and really get some pink around the edges. I think I really want to get some pink onto this bag, and I probably will put some trim on the side here, so you may not see all of that pink there, but I definitely want to get a pink look going on the outside here. Now, if you do not have a eyelet hole puncher, you can punch a hole with a paper punch, and you can simply I'll show you when I punch the hole in. I'll show you exactly what you can use, and you probably have one of them around your house. A brad, that's what it's called. You can use a brad and just close it up with that, and just to hold the book closed. But okay, so we have this, and we're going to do more to it, but I'm going to see what I have inside, and inside needs a little bit of work. It's very plain, so I'm going to see what I have over here in my sticker book. Okay, just got this today. It is so cool. I'm not sponsored by this. I actually bought this off of Amazon. It's the Botanist Sticker Anthology, and it was actually suggested by Pam at the Paper Outpost. And so if you're going to buy it, go through her store. She suggested the butterflies, the bees, and the birds, butterflies, and bees anthology, and it's a sticker book. But this is also another one that you can order. But go through her, because if you go through her store, I know you love Pam. Everybody loves Pam. I love Pam. If you go through her store and you go onto her Amazon site, from her link, she will get a little kickback if you order it through her link. So just do that. She's just done so much for all of us as crafters. I feel like we should give a little, should do as much as we can for her in return. So go back and order, look this one up. There's a link to it on her book page, on her Amazon page. Go and look up the birds, the bees and the butterflies. You can get that one if you want, or you can use that as to go into and find this one. This is the Botanist one, and it has stickers. It has more of your flower stickers. It is just loaded with beautiful stickers. I could go on all day showing you all of the beautiful stickers that it has in here, but this lends itself great to they have that very vintage look. So if you're wanting a vintage look, you can and just, I think I'm just gonna snag one of these and stick it in something that kind of matches this pink thing that I'm doing, and it's just so great. Look, they're all organized in a book for you, and they even have sections. This one is amazing. I love this one. So I think I'm going to use something from here. Let's see. The thing about these are they do have these white edges around them, but you know what we can always do? You can either cut the white edge off, or you can, you guessed it, you can just ink around the front of the sticker. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna grab my antique, no, I'm not using antique, I'm using not vintage photo, I'm using gathered twigs, and I'm just making this look a little bit brown, just browning the sticker up. And I just picked this one randomly out of the book. It just had some pinks in it, but this book is fantastic for the what you pay for this book, and the other books as well in the collection. You get such a great deal. I mean, it is just unbelievable what these books have in them. I can't believe that I have not used these before. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this on the inside of my page, just on the inside of my book, to add a little bit of more interest here. And then I think I'll put a stamp on the front here. So I have these little hex stamps. You can find these from Nora by looking up Nora Jane on Etsy. She has these cute little peg stamps, and these are really great just to have around if you want to. If you want just to add a quick stamp somewhere. And they even have the little lines that show you which direction. So since I've been keeping a theme with worn lipstick, I'm going to just take, actually, I'm going to take a green. It's a little thing I like to do with my stamps. If you have these little stamps like this, you can ink them. Like here, I'm just going to ink these leaves with a green and just a little stem. And then these little 1x1 mini ink pads are great for this. And then you can wipe off the flowers where you may not touch with the ink and you don't want it to show. And then you can come along here, and I'm going to do that with this worn lipstick. Come along here and just put it on the flowers. This may be a little too, too much for you, but to fuss with. But if you don't mind fussing, it's great. And I'm just going to stick it down right here on the front. Just add a little bit of interest. See? And then we have a beautiful pink flower. This is just from a stamp. Pink flower just by doing the two ink combinations there. So that's a little trick that I like to do. Okay, so now I have the back. And what am I going to put on the back? Got this cute little girl in the front, and I'm going to fix her up. And we're going to do a little bit more to this. So if you just hang in there with us for just a minute, we are going to decide what we are going to do for the back. The back, I may just leave that for, actually I may just do that for a rainy day, or maybe I have just a little something up here in my bits and bops. Oh, I have this rub on here that says filed with a butterfly on it. Oh, and it would be really cute because I have filed some things away in here. This is one of those little rub-on things that you can get. It has a clear back, and you just take it, and I think this may be a Tim Holtz one. I think, but you just lay it down where you want it, and then you just take, they give you a little wooden stick, but I seem to always be losing my little stick, so I'm just gonna use like the end of my dauber. You can use like the edge of your scissors or whatever, but you'll be able to see it start separating, and you just wanna make sure that you get all of this separated. They give you like what looks like a little popsicle stick, and I don't seem to see it anywhere for some reason. So I'm just using different things. It'll eventually come off. And this can look like I just filed away some little things in here. See how this is beginning to separate? You can see it kind of separating from the plastic, and it's starting to look a little transparent there when it lifts up. That means that it's starting to come undone from the plastic, and it's going to just come off onto what you want it to. Okay, so there we go. So filed. So now we need a few things to file in here before I decorate the front. Now let's see what we have. I have some stuff. Let's see. I have stuff, some old ephemera just laying around in my desk. I have these cute little cards. I have these cute little cards in my store. They're little mini cards, aren't they cute? These are in my store. It's a little Scotty playing ball. These, I think he's playing golf. These are probably ancient old. I'm gonna put you in there. Let's see, what else do I have? I have these ephemera kits in my store of all this antique and vintage ephemera. If you want some ephemera to check out and you just want a bunch of just different things to put in, like stickers, I mean not stickers, like let's see, I think this is a bus ticket from April 26, 65. I wonder if that's anybody's birthday. You could stick that in there. I have all kinds of ephemera from the late 1800s, everything from prescriptions, old prescriptions, to bus tickets, to vintage playing cards. Here's something else I put in there. This is a money order receipt. This is from 1965. I think I'm going to tuck that away in my little pocket here in the front, my little pouch. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, here's a little girl that I didn't get to use. I could always just stick her in there and you could write on the back of her. Okay, but that's what I have so far. Now, I need to make this close. So I'm going to do this with my hole puncher, and I actually may have to watch this because I may end up going through my little butterfly here on the back. If I do, it's okay. Okay, so let's make this one with, let me just punch the hole for this one first, and I'll show you what you can do with the, with the brad before we go to putting in the actual eyelet. But just make sure that whenever you do punch your holes through both of these, that your paper is, you're not punching it into your paper. You see how my paper came right up to my eyelet right here? So make sure that you don't punch that. And you also have to be careful. I like the idea of using an eyelet here because it strengthens the front of the bag a little bit, but I'm just going to go to the front here. And, oh, okay, I'm going to unlock my crocodile. I mean, not crocodile, it's a dial eyelet setter. I'm going to unlock it. I'm just going to use, I want to make sure though that I'm not going in on my paper, so I'm looking from the side here a little bit. I want to get in, but I don't want to get my papers. So get in a little ways to, I got the wing of my butterfly, but that's okay. All right, so now I have this. Now you can take a brad, and if you have some decorative brads, you can take one like this, and you can just use that to close. Just put it through and simply close it. And you have that. So let's pretend like we just did that instead of putting the hole in and then running the ribbon through. Let's pretend like we're using this for our closure this time, and let's go ahead and put something else on the edge here to jazz this up a little bit. So I'm going to look over here in my my bits and bops of trim that I always keep. Let's see. So here she is. I've just drug everything out. You could possibly, I think I could have possibly drug out. Good grief. But this is just my little bits and bops that I've kept when I cut things off. Okay. Let's see. It's a little piece of trim that I have that's pretty. That would be nice down the side. I suppose I could do that. I have a little piece of white lace. That might look, I might just put this on here just because I don't want to, that other looked a little bit too thick. Just kind of overpowered my little girl here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop this down. So I'm just going to use my Fabrifix And like I said, I'm just using what I had on hand. And I did put a good bit on there because I want it to stick, but I'm going to smooth it down with my finger because I don't want it to be all seeping through, especially this white lace. I'm going to put the edge of the lace up to the edge of my bag. And I'm going to let a little bit come over my picture a little bit. And I'm going to leave it up here so I can trim it off and it'll be straight. All I have are these little mini whisker scissors, but that's okay. Just using what I have on hand here, and voila, there we go. Now I could do a few more things to her if I wanted to. I could put some liquid pearls, or what do I have in here? I have some appliques. Oh, that's cute. Could put a little applique on there. That one would be cute just to put up there. But it's kind of round, just like this. If I was using a ribbon, I would probably put the little applique up there. But since I have this brad in here for the moment, I don't want to contradict that too much. So let's see. I have a leaf. These are just things that I have just thrown around, that I just throw in this little cup and just grab them, like when I find them on the floor and all. And then I just pick them up and I'm like, oh, I forgot about you, and I just stick it on, and it just, sometimes it just works so well. Okay, I'm gonna roll with this little leaf here. This is just a little paper leaf that was just hanging out in my bits and bobs cup. It adds a little bit of color and a little bit of a little nature look kind of to it, and a little color. Okay, I have that on there. And let's see what else, if I have anything else. I have a flat back pearl, but I already have a pearl on my brad, so maybe not. But let's see, I do have some of these. These are always handy. And you're probably guessing correctly as to what I'm going to grab at the moment. And if you guessed liquid pearls, you were correct. This is rose gold. Let me make sure that this is what I want. Wow, this rose gold is coming out such an odd color. That is not the color that my other rose gold comes out. See, that's why you always want to test this stuff before you start putting it down. This is a new rose gold, and it just is coming out very watery. I'm going to get my other one, or another color. I was about to say I thought that my rose gold, my other rose gold, I'd run off with platinum pearl, but I guess not. This one seems to be coming out, or it's coming out not looking so weird. I don't know what's up with that. It may just need to be mixed up better, but I'm just going to put a little bitty dot for interest, a little bit of a little pearl on here for interest. And you could continue the sequence if you wanted to. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that there, but you could do that. You could do that. And you could maybe put a little bit bigger one here in the center. And you could also come in with looks a little like it needs a little bit something else. So let's see, I'm going to come back in. What do I have? I have this, it doesn't say color on here. This is some kind of coppery or brass color. Come in and you can just do a little bit more too if you wanted to. Well, I've used this one because this one I'm really having to push on. Boop. Okay, just put a few of these things, little dots on my leaf edges. Just play. That's the thing though, when I get these out, I hear other people say this too, when I get these out, I just go crazy with them. It's hard not to start going crazy with these little things. They are so cool to use. Okay, but I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, so here's what I have. So I have this little book, and let's take a peek at the prototype. Okay, and I have not tied this back, but we had the prototype here. And then I've made another one, and with this one I've just used a brad closure. I'm trying not to touch the front with the liquid pearls. This has a nice, very Victorian, elegant look to it. So I'm going to open her up. And inside I have a sticker. And inside, oops, I caught the I should have said, watch not to get that too. That's okay, you know what? We can fix it. I can fix this. This is how you have to think as a crafter. Is it too late to fix it, or can I fix it? This is fixable, y'all. I can just come in with my clip, and I'm trying not to get liquid pearls in or anything. This is crazy. Craziness. But I can come back in, and I can always clip a little bit further down into my bag. How a crafter thinks. And now you don't ever know that I went into my bag, and I still have my little thumb hole. Okay, you saw it. That was on the fly. That's how you have to think as a crafter. Can I fix it, or do I need to leave it? In that case, I came up with a way to fix it. Okay, inside we have our little receipts and things. Then we have our little stamped cover. Then we have our little thing that says filed. And in the back we have a little cute little playing card with a serial number on it of a dog playing golf. And a bus ticket. Here we go. Put it, and you can just put whatever, and you can write in it. These would be so cute tucked into a journal. I mean, wouldn't it be neat just to find this in a journal? And the thing too is, it doesn't go, nothing is going to fall all the way through the bag because you've sewed the pages in the middle. So you don't have to worry about that. So this is just a little idea, simple idea that's coming to you from me to you, from my old ephemera drawer to now what I've done here on camera. So you never throw away that old ephemera. You can always get inspiration from it, or it's something that ideas that you can share with others. But anyway, I hope that you try this. It's a lot of fun. It's not too thick. You can see that it lays down in a journal. It's not very thick, so it doesn't bulk up your journal too much. But if you like this video, please hit the like button, and I would love to have you a subscriber if you're not already subscribed. I have an Etsy store that I've already mentioned on here once. It's the Creator's Attic on Etsy. Please come over and check out my shop. I have great vintage and antique ephemera kits, antique and vintage pages. I have them in different languages. I have different lace and trims, samplers in there and everything, and I have a lot more stuff than that in there. So come check it out. This little digi-kits in here with these little digitals of these little calling cards and antique calling cards, little cute little ladies and little girls. So if you found value here, please hit the like button, or if you liked it, hit like. And what else am I forgetting? Oh, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. And oh yeah, and as always, happy crafting. See you later. Bye-bye.